You're in retirement or you're close to retirement and you're thinking, how can I get the best deals when it comes to travel? Well, by the end of this video, you're going to gain clarity about travel as well as your personal retirement plan, and you'll have action items to secure your retirement.
To learn more about securing your retirement and all the different elements you need to know, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to be notified when we post a video every Monday. We have helped hundreds of our clients gain clarity and get on the path to a comfortable and happy retirement. Now it's your turn. Let's dive in.
Welcome to our Monday podcasts. Every Monday, our goal is to bring somebody of value that we think can help, and we do this in really three different categories. We talk about financial things, we talk about things around legacy, and we talk about lifestyle. And today is a lifestyle show because we get this all the time from our clients and listeners is that they love to travel. I mean, a lot of people want to retire so they can go places. And so we thought, hey, let's get somebody who is an expert when it comes to travel. And so we have that with us today. So we have Chris Klesch. Did I say that right, Chris?
Yeah, well, they better. I'm AKA. I'm known as Coach Chris.
Coach Chris. Very nice, Coach.
You see,
nice
travel coach. I'm your number one travel guru, number one travel coach.
Very nice. Nice to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here. I've listened to a lot of your podcasts and they're very informational and add value. Us people my age. And so I've listened to all of them. They're very informative. So I appreciate you doing this podcast.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. Hey, Chris, so thanks a lot for joining us today. We want to dive right into all the tips and tricks that you have for travel. But before we do that, could you just tell us, what got you started in the whole travel side of the world? What made you become a travel coach?
Well, I'm 72 years old now, and I did the corporate gig for 31 years until I was 52 with the Bell system, AT&T, retired after 30 years, middle-level executive in marketing, and I've always loved to travel. It's all been as part of my lifestyle. I've been very fortunate. I believe the best things in life aren't things. What are they? It's your health, your family, your friends, and those precious memories and experiences, right? Would you agree?
Sure.
Yeah. And, a lot of those memories and experiences involve travel. And I was blessed as a young child with my family to go to Europe a few times, around the country, different golf resorts, etc., and get the travel bug. So when I retired, I just say, hey, here's my chance. Here's my pension, 401k. I have a little money. I have a vacation home. I'm going to go around, see the world. And I think, again, when we talk about the benefits of travel, here's another one of my mantras. We travel not to escape life, but for life not to escape us. And especially if we've been cooped up in this environment, pandemic for a year, self-quarantining and things, without being able to travel supposedly safely. You can't go to church, you can't go to gyms, our kids can't go to school, etc. It's become an important element. Reunions aren't happening, weddings aren't happening. And now with the still with the pandemic, but with the vaccines, people are opening their eyes and ears to travel possibilities because safety shouldn't be that an important an issue. The CDC says once you're vaccinated, you're really safe to travel. So I believe that the value of travel is really your health, wellness, those memories and experiences. Many studies have been done after vacations. People come home, they're more productive, they're more rested, reduce stress, etc. in this environment.
Very good.
So that's the benefit of travel. And especially now that we've missed it, majority of the population in the U.S. have been scared to travel. They've been told not to travel because of health reasons. And now things are opening up and they're opening their eyes to all the possibilities.
Excellent. So you call yourself and you're known as the travel coach. And if I think about a coach is somebody who's helping us navigate something that we might need a little help in. So let me ask you this. What are some of the tips that you have for saving money when it comes to
well, that's the big thing. I'm usually a professional speaker, and now that's been closed down because of the lack of conventions and hotels and association meetings. And I'm known as the travel coach because we coach the deals. I'm president and founder of a company called Lifetime Leisure Experiences, and we coach the deals to give you a lifestyle of privilege and travel and leisure for pennies on the dollar. Everybody wants to travel. They want to take that family vacation, whether it's skiing, going to Broadway, taking their family to Disney World, the national parks, playing golf courses, going to Europe, seeing all the sights in Paris or London. But that costs a lot of money. So I try to solve that problem. That's what I try to do. I'm known as the coach. We give you all the X's, O's, the strategy, the game plan, how to do this for really pennies on a dollar. I've been very fortunate, and I've immersed myself like a drug addict in every single blog, book, travel concierge to learn all the inside secrets that people don't know about that enable them to travel for practically nothing. For instance, to give you an example, I don't pay to fly. Of the last 14 years, I haven't paid for a flight, and I'm not married to a flight attendant. So that's one of the things people should consider. Call that my first tip.
Which one is that? To not pay to fly?
Yeah,
or
not to pay to
marry a
fly.
flight attendant?
I don't do that. You don't. Basically, every airline, I think your listeners should pick the airline they fly most. They fly most when they vacation, and then every airline is associated with a bank, is associated with a credit card. And a lot of these credit cards have sign-up bonuses. When you get their credit card, you spend a lot of them $3,000 or $4,000 on the credit card, then you're going to get 50, 60, 70,000 miles. And in other words, American Express sponsors Delta. You could get a credit card and gives you a companion flight, 50,000 miles to start off. Southwest has a deal with Chase Bank, United, every major airline, whether it's Spirit, even the cheaper airlines, Frontier. And the idea, it's a game, it's called travel hacking. Get these credit cards in your name and maybe your spouse's name. One of them, I have an inside tip, is with American. All you have to do is buy a pack of gum. One purchase now, one purchase. Fill up your gas tank. And you're gonna, if you have a decent credit score, these to get approved for these cards, it's like any other credit card. You got to have a credit score of about 700. And why not wind up with the equivalent of $1,500, 60,000 miles on American that you could use, fly anywhere for buying a pack of gum. Now, the credit card costs $99 a year, but then you get free luggage check-in. You're not paying for luggage check-in. You get premier boarding. So after first class boards and you're flying coach, you don't have to fight for that overhead space. It's a no-brainer. And then you leverage this with your spouse, let her get a credit card. You could even leverage it to the next extreme. If you're an entrepreneur like myself and you have a business, and get a business credit card. I go back and forth. I have a vacation place in Lake Tahoe, and I spend a lot of time in Vail, and I've been commuting back and forth all year to Vail, Colorado and Lake Tahoe for free. So I think for your listeners, one of the top tips is to investigate. There's a lot of blogs, websites, travel newsletters that have these promotions. But the first thing to do is start small. Pick where you fly to, your home airport, your frequent flyer account, if you have one, wherever you want to go on vacation, and then sign up for these credit cards that establish this loyalty number. Obviously, with each airline, you have a loyalty number, and you might as well get 50, 70,000 miles. Etc., just for signing up. So obviously that makes you be able to fly for free the way I do.
Yeah. I think, credit cards they can be very attractive. And there's a lot of people out there that play the credit card game that you're talking about. And I think that's fine as long as it's managed properly. Like you said, you're financial advisors. I haven't paid a penny in interest on a credit card. At one time, I think I had 22 credit cards. My credit score was still good, but I had them from different purposes. Right. Same thing with hotels. Hotels have different credit cards. Hilton, Marriott is now Bonvoy, etc., with associated banks, and a lot of them. American Express has a membership reward program. If you plan it right
and utilize them properly, and obviously pay off the balance, and just, the focus on maybe one credit card in the beginning, and obviously put all your charges and pay the balances so you're not paying any interest charges. It's an excellent tool, resource to enable you to fly for free,
Yeah.
the way I do. And
Yeah.
when I say free, you got to pay a minimal tax. For instance, a normal round trip from West Palm Beach to Vail is like $800. And it costs me, using frequent miles, and in the pandemic, I was able to fly round trip for the equivalent of 12,000 frequent flyer miles, which is nothing. So again, if you leverage this with your family and your friends, it's a way. The two biggest costs of travel, that's if you're flying, is the airfare and your accommodation. So I try to focus on both of those.
Right. Very good. So, like you said earlier, we're on our way out of the pandemic. We're not in the clear yet, but people are getting vaccinated. So obviously travel is a big topic for 2021 and going forward. So what, you being in the industry, what type of changes are you seeing? What do you see coming up as far as travel, maybe incentives? I know I've heard about different countries that are basically paying you to come out there and visit. So what are you seeing when it comes to travel, especially right now coming out of one of the toughest years we've ever been through?
Well, travel's still a question mark. People are still fearful for safety. A lot of the travel places such as Disney World here in Florida aren't open at full capacity. Some places have quarantines for a couple of days like Hawaii does. So before you even considering travel, check with the destination, the tourist board, to see what rules and regulations they have for safety, or if there's quarantine, what's open, what's not open. Some states are open, some states are not. I'm a Broadway freak. I used to make 3 or 4 trips up to New York and see 20 Broadway shows a year. But unfortunately, New York's really still shut down. There's no theater or anything else. So that negates that trip. So a lot of people are, and again, with Europe, each country's a little different. They have rules, etc. So my advice for people that want to travel this year, stick to the United States. I know here in Florida, where I live, the beaches are packed. Everybody's coming down here, but the restaurants are open, the golf courses are open, the beaches are open, shopping malls are open. So basically, do a little research on the destination, but get out there, because travel's all about memories and experiences. People have been cooped up. Like I said, they haven't had those family reunions, weddings, etc. Whether it's playing golf with, just guys playing golf or whatever. In your area, a lot of people I know go down to the Myrtle Beach area to play golf, or Hilton Head. But get out there and create those memories and experiences, even in this environment. Now, when it comes to safety, another issue, you asked me about safety. I recommend that they, obviously, everybody, all the CDC recommendations, we all know what they are: wash your hands, social distancing, etc. Getting vaccinated. Now I think it's opened up to everybody that's 16 years old. It's really a decision between you and doctor, but my point of view, yeah, get vaccinated, be safe. But a lot of the hotel chains now, they all have stringent safety factors, etc. Now, which leads me into my second major travel tip, that really, I think this is the best one. When you start thinking about travel, now the typical family vacation, where you go away for a week at a resort, whether it's the Caribbean, whether it's the US, whether it's Mexico, whether it's Hawaii, whether it's here where I am in South Florida, I say, to save the most money, to get the most benefit, forget the word hotel. In other words, strike it for your vocabulary. Forget, especially with families now, forget the word hotel. Why? Because Marriott, Hilton, Hyatt, Westin, Disney, Starwood, Wyndham, even the Ritz-Carlton, they all have vacation clubs. They used to call them timeshares. Now, with the bad connotation with timeshares, they call them vacation clubs, where you could get on the internet I'll give one resource is redweek.com, and rent from an owner. And why not get triple the space of a hotel, triple the amenities for a third the price of a hotel room? Now, as I mentioned to you before, I'm a ski bum. In the winter, I go to Vail. I've been doing this for the last 20 or 30 years. I use Vail as an example, but you could use Hawaii, you could use Aruba, wherever, Newport Coast, California, New York City, where a hotel room in Vail, a Marriott in ski season costs you $700 a night. I mean, this is an upscale resort, $700 a night, nice hotel room, 400 square feet. But a half mile down the road, if you go on the internet, you could rent the Vail, it's called Vacation Club, Streamside at Vail, from an owner now, not from Marriott, and get a 2-bedroom place that sleeps 8, 3 flat screen TVs, washer, dryer, fireplace, full kitchen. We're talking about safety here, so you don't have to go out to restaurants now, especially people traveling in the summer. If they're afraid they don't want to go out with crowds, social distancing in restaurants, they'll have their own full kitchen. So you're going to have the amenities of a clubhouse with indoor pool, sauna, exercise room. And what you're going to pay for this is literally 1/3 the price of a hotel room in Vail, $200. So instead of paying a hotel room for 400 square feet, you're going to get 1,200 square feet with all these amenities that sleeps 8, and you'll also get a balcony. So for instance, down here in Palm Beach area, people that want to spend time at the beach, one of the big resorts you probably heard about is the Breakers. The Breakers goes for a hotel room, $500-600 a night, resort tax plus sales tax. When you could rent from an owner and still enjoy the ocean, the same ocean, and stay at one of Marriott's vacation clubs from an owner now and rent a room, a suite now, for less than $200 a night that sleeps 8. And you're going to get many more amenities. You're going to get tennis courts, full kitchen, washer, dryer. It's perfect for families. So another way to think about family vacationings for safety and saving money is, if you're thinking about that typical week vacation, investigate the timeshare alternative. And one of the websites that I recommend is redweek.com. Another one is Timeshare Users Group, TUG, I think it's .org. You could look it up. This is where timeshare owners all over the 75 countries, literally thousands of timeshares, rent their units at a much lower cost than a hotel room, just to defray their maintenance. And as I said, obviously you have the safety issues of the rooms. Oh, and here's another tip. I would stick with the hotel chains. In this pandemic, when everybody's worried about sanitization and everything has to be sanitized, etc., the hotel chains like Marriott, Hilton, Hyatt, they all have a policy. They follow strict rules. So when you check into a room, everything's social distance on the elevator. The pool chairs by the cabanas have been socially distanced. You're going to get the safety quality, as opposed to, let's say, renting a room at Airbnb where you're staying in someone's house. You really don't know the safety conditions out there after this pandemic, or renting a house on vacation rental by owner. So during this pandemic, I certainly recommend utilizing the timeshare option, renting from an owner, etc.
So it's, obviously you being the travel coach and you giving us this advice, it all is helpful. How does that work though? Like if I contact you, just tell me what you would do to help me. If I said, okay, I want to go to Florida, or I want to go to Texas, or I want to go wherever I want to go. How does somebody work with you? What does that look like?
Well, I'm not a travel agent. I don't book these things. I'm sort of a facilitator, concierge. I give people the resources, the websites. If they want to go on cruises, I don't book cruises. I'm not a cruise expert, but I know the resources where they'll get the best deals. If you're a golfer, I know where you play golf on Hilton Head, where normally a hotel room's going to cost you $150, where I could put you in a unit for $200 a night, show you how to get it, that comes with free golf and cart fees. I mean, you're going to get a $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 vacation for renting a unit for, let's say, $1,800. But I'm a facilitator. I have a coaching program, etc., where I show people the ropes that really want to travel, take them from A to Z, depending on how much they travel. I mean, little tips like set up a separate email for these travel blogs. I have a list of the top ones, what you're trying to do. For instance, I had a client, a father, a couple of years ago that wanted to take his son to as many baseball parks during the summer as he could. But obviously he wanted to do it at a cost savings way. So I recommended that he get the Southwest Airlines Companion Pass. Again, it's through credit card utilization. This way he was able to take his son to 4 or 5 major cities, to all the ballparks, and it cost them nothing in airfares. So there's a way to do it. And I provide that service. I have a coaching service that provides that. But
So-
overall, I'm just there to help your clients, the audience, to know, give them some different ideas that they haven't thought about when it comes to, travel. Because after all, it's about memories and experiences. When you look back, it's not the years in your life, but the life in those years that matter. And I know during this pandemic, I used to pull out my iPhone every day and just look at the pictures and just, God bless, the education I had and this travel bug, how to do it for pennies on a dollar, because everybody wants to travel. They all want this lifestyle. Again, that's my brand. We coach the deals, the game plan, the X's and O's, the inside strategy, how to go about doing this piece by piece by piece. But the 2 biggest tips, again, I'll just reemphasize, there's no need to pay for airfare. I don't. And it's just really leveraging credit cards. But you do need a credit score of 700. Like Merce said, obviously, you don't pay interest on those credit cards. That's the worst thing you can do. And the second thing is to consider the timeshare, or all these hotels have vacation clubs, even the Ritz-Carlton, as a destination tool. And again, speaking a little bit more about timeshares, once you've tried one out and you see that's the lifestyle you like for your family, because you have those amenities of a kitchen and space and extra TVs and washer, dryer, resort amenities, free golf, this sort of thing, you might want to own one. And I advise clients how to purchase them on the resale market. Rule number 1, again, you're in the financial industry, to save people money, never, ever buy a timeshare from a developer. You're going to pay quadruple the price. Always buy resale. And that's what I've done with my inventory of timeshares. I bought everything on resale, and that's the way to go. The other tip I'd give people is that they all these companies, the major hotel chains, all have preview tours where they allow you to stay at their resorts, whether it's Las Vegas, even in Florida here, Newport Coast, California, Hawaii. It's sort of a way to get you in there to trial their amenities. And then you have to go on a sales tour, the old quote timeshare tour. It's a hard sell thing, but I show clients how to get out of there, what to say, so they're not, and that basically allows you to travel for literally pennies on a dollar. And I'll give an example. I used to go to New York a lot, and I still do it. One of the tricks I used is I signed up for the Hilton Club tour in New York, and that gave me 3 nights in a suite in the Hilton Hotel, New York Hilton, the largest hotel in New York. And it came with free breakfast, free happy hour, cookies after the shows. And I think I paid $300 for the 3 nights. All that was required, that I spent an hour of my time with Hilton to hear about their Hilton promotion, what they're selling these things for. So I'm going back years ago, 15 years ago. I like what I saw, but I did my own research and I wound up buying for pennies on a dollar, resale. So people that are considering travel, that travel a lot, should consider timeshares are not a bad thing. You buy them on the resale market. People are giving them away now for as little as $1 if you go to that website, because they don't want to pay maintenance. After you own a timeshare, yes, you pay a yearly maintenance fee of anywhere from $800 to, let's say, $1,800, but you certainly get that benefit back from travel. Also, when you're a member of their exchange company, for instance, Marriott, I'll use them as an example, is part of Interval International. That's where you could trade if you own a timeshare, trade for another destination. You might not want to go to the same destination every year. And they run these specials out of season. They call them getaway weeks, etc. When you're a member of the club, where you could stay in, again, 3, 4, 5-star resorts, whether it's the Pocono Mountains, Williamsburg, Myrtle Beach, Park City, Las Vegas, even South Florida here, for literally pennies on the dollar. If you're an owner of a timeshare and you purchase what they call these getaway weeks, which are really inventory weeks that nobody's using. So that's another inside tip, how to travel for very little.
That's great. Well, clearly you've got a wealth of knowledge when it comes to travel, when it comes to traveling for the best deal. So if anyone's interested in what you've talked about in your coaching program, how would they reach out to you?
Well, I would say the best thing, I have an ebook, 99 Travel Tips, but I have a free consultation I give people that want me to answer more questions about their travel. In other words, everybody's different on the travel. Some people just want to sit on the beach on Maui. Other people are scuba divers. Other people are golfers. Other people want to go to Europe. Other people cruises. I have a free consultation for a half an hour. If they go to CoachChrisSpeaks.com, I have an automated calendar. They answer 4 or 5 of their travel questions. You know, how often they travel, their traveling party, their desired destinations. And I provide this free consultation for them as a courtesy to your listeners and your clients.
Very good. Very good. Well, Coach Chris, thank you very much for your time today. I know there's a lot of value here. And so thanks a lot for hopping on with us.
Yeah, well, thanks. You know, it's my pleasure to be here. And I think your podcast is an excellent resource. You know, when we'll all be stuck at home, I think podcasting is great. Financial planning is very important. And especially in a retiree community, which I fit in, people are looking to save money, but they still want these valuable memories and experiences that last for a lifetime. And again, just one last thing, there's really 3 aspects of travel. Again, when I think about it, it's anticipation. Your clients, your customers, people that travel, once they plan that trip, and I advise them try to plan it in advance. They have a bucket list, things they wanted to do, try to plan it as far in advance as they can. So they have that anticipation of planning for a trip that they're going to go in 2, 3, 4, 5 months, whether it's a college reunion or a wedding or a dream golf trip to Scotland. Number 2, then after the trip, the vacation, you have the memories and experience to reduce stress. You have those beautiful memories and experiences. And with these gadgets here, everybody has one of these. You're going to capture those memories and experiences and share it with your friends, whether Facebook, Instagram, and this becomes your legacy to capture those memories and experience and share them. So it's all part of the travel experiences. And again, it's not the years in your life, but the life in your years that matter. And for me, travel's been a big part of it. But the biggest I've found in my speaking career and dealing with travelers for the past 20 years is how do we reduce that cost? The middle class is shrinking. How do we enable these luxury trips, vacations, without breaking the bank?
Well, thank you so much. We do appreciate it, Chris. And certainly this has been a wealth of information. I hope you have a good day, and thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you. Thank for all your great podcast information. I'm even looking into reverse mortgage. I listened to your guidance on that situation. So I think it's great for everybody that you have these lifestyle guests such as me, but you also cover obviously the financial planning, especially in this environment when the things are changing and health. You know, the country's 29 trillion in debt. People are struggling out there. So they want the best financial advice and obviously lifestyle advice when it comes to travel they can get.
All right. Thank you so much.
We hope this video has given you some confidence and clarity as you plan for a worry-free life in retirement. But what else do you need? we have created a complimentary video course called 3 Keys to Secure Your Retirement. This video walks you through step by step what you need to do to get ready for retirement. You can also check out our podcast called Secure Your Retirement. You can subscribe below.
For more retirement tips, watch this video, create your retirement income plan. Also, click here to subscribe to our podcast, Secure Your Retirement. If you like this video, hit the like button and be sure to subscribe and share it with your friends.